Real battles, real bravery. Welcome to USA War Stories.
Behind the flag are the stories.
October 3rd, 2009. At Combat Outpost, COP, Keating, nestled in the steep mountains of Nuristan, Afghanistan, U.S. soldiers began their day. The outpost, small and isolated, was surrounded by towering peaks, with enemy forces only a short distance away. Soldiers checked weapons, planned patrols, and shared brief conversations, unaware that a massive Taliban assault was about to descend. The tension in the air was subtle but palpable, a calm that would soon shatter. By mid-morning, distant gunfire echoed through the valley. Taliban fighters, heavily armed and determined, began their coordinated attack on COP Keating. Soldiers scrambled to defensive positions, manning sandbags and machine guns. The outpost shook under the first wave of rocket-propelled grenades and small arms fire. Panic and adrenaline surged as the reality of the attack set in. The most intense battle of the war for this isolated post had begun. Soldiers at COP Keating fought fiercely to maintain control of the outpost. Machine guns rattled and rifles cracked as Taliban fighters surged forward. Sandbags were reinforced, and medics moved quickly to aid the wounded. Despite being outnumbered, U.S. forces relied on training, teamwork, and sheer determination to hold their ground. Every second was a battle for survival as the mountains echoed with the chaos of war. As the Taliban assault intensified, soldiers at COP Keating urgently radioed for reinforcements. Helicopters in nearby bases were alerted, but mountainous terrain slowed support. Inside the outpost, communication operators relayed coordinates while under fire, knowing that every moment could decide life or death. The outpost, small and exposed, relied on quick thinking, teamwork, and the hope that help would arrive before the enemy could overwhelm them. The battle raged on as casualties mounted. Soldiers dragged the wounded behind sandbags, refusing to leave anyone behind. Acts of bravery unfolded in every corner. Riflemen covering medics, officers directing fire under extreme pressure, and soldiers risking their lives to rescue comrades. Amid the chaos, the outpost defenders held their positions, demonstrating courage and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. By midday, Taliban fighters had intensified their assault, launching coordinated attacks from multiple directions. Mortars and rocket-propelled grenades shook the outpost, while gunfire erupted from all sides. Despite being heavily outnumbered, U.S. soldiers maintained defensive lines, repositioning to cover vulnerable areas. Every moment demanded split-second decisions. Any mistake could allow the enemy to breach the outpost. The defenders' determination became their lifeline. Amid the relentless attack, acts of extraordinary courage unfolded. Soldiers ran across exposed positions to deliver ammunition, rescue the wounded, and man critical defense points. Officers coordinated fire while under direct enemy assault, and medics risked their lives to save comrades. Each decision carried immense risk, but the defenders' bravery held the line, proving that courage under fire could turn the tide in the face of overwhelming odds. Under continuous fire, soldiers at COP Keating radioed for air support. Attack helicopters and fighter jets were dispatched, but the mountainous terrain made targeting difficult. Inside the outpost, soldiers relayed precise coordinates, marking enemy positions while dodging incoming fire. Every second was critical. Air support could turn the battle in their favor, but until it arrived, the defenders had to hold their ground against the relentless assault. As the battle raged on, the sound of approaching helicopters and jets filled the valley. Air support finally arrived, launching rockets and strafing enemy positions on the surrounding ridges. Explosions lit up the mountainside, forcing Taliban fighters to retreat temporarily. U.S. soldiers at COP Keating pressed their advantage, coordinating with pilots to maximize the strike. The tide of the battle began to shift, offering a glimmer of hope amid chaos. With air support suppressing enemy fire, U.S. soldiers at COP Keating gained the upper hand. They advanced cautiously from their defensive positions, reclaiming lost ground and repelling attacks from multiple directions. The combination of ground resilience and aerial firepower forced Taliban fighters to fall back. Exhaustion weighed heavily, but determination and teamwork gave the outpost a fighting chance to survive the onslaught. After the battle subsided, medevac helicopters landed near COP Keating to evacuate the wounded. Soldiers carried injured comrades on stretchers through the chaos, while medics stabilized them for flight. The sound of rotors blended with distant gunfire, a stark reminder of the danger that lingered. Each evacuation was tense, but essential. Saving lives depended on speed, coordination, and courage under fire. With the battle over, soldiers at COP Keating assessed the damage. Bunkers were scarred, vehicles destroyed, and the outpost bore the marks of intense fighting. Despite losses, the defenders had held their ground against overwhelming odds. Officers documented the battle, debriefed troops, and prepared for the next steps. The bravery, strategy, and resilience displayed would be remembered as one of the most harrowing and heroic moments of the Afghanistan conflict. Amid the devastation, soldiers took time to honor their fallen comrades. Names were read aloud, helmets and boots placed in silent tribute. Grief and respect filled the air as those who survived reflected on the sacrifices made to defend the outpost. The courage of those who gave their lives became a solemn reminder of the cost of war and the bond shared by soldiers in the face of unimaginable danger. After the battle, soldiers at COP Keating used satellite phones and radios to contact families of the wounded and fallen. Tears, relief, and gratitude filled the conversations as loved ones were informed of their status. For many, these calls were the first connection to the outside world since the attack began. Amidst the chaos, the human element of war, love, concern, and hope shone through, reminding everyone of what they were fighting to protect. By late afternoon, additional U.S. troops arrived at COP Keating to reinforce the defenders. Helicopters landed fresh soldiers and supplies, while ground teams established new defensive lines. The combined forces stabilized the outpost, pushing remaining enemy fighters back. Exhausted but resolute, the defenders regained control, knowing that teamwork and timely support had prevented the outpost from falling entirely. With reinforcements in place, U.S. forces conducted a thorough sweep of the surrounding area. Patrols moved cautiously through the rugged mountains, clearing hidden enemy positions and securing supply routes. Each step carried risk, but methodical coordination ensured the outpost was no longer vulnerable to immediate attacks. The defenders reinforced their fortifications, transforming COP Keating from a besieged post into a secure position. After the dust settled, officers held a detailed debriefing. Every action, decision, and tactical maneuver was analyzed to understand what had worked and what could be improved. Soldiers recounted their experiences, highlighting acts of bravery and coordination under fire. The debrief reinforced lessons in strategy, teamwork, and resilience, ensuring that the experiences of COP Keating would guide future missions and training exercises. Soldiers who endured the Battle of Kamdesh were recognized for their courage and resilience. Ceremonies acknowledged their heroism under fire, highlighting teamwork, quick thinking, and sacrifice. Though the battle had been brutal, the survivors' determination ensured the outpost endured. Their experiences would inspire fellow service members, emphasizing that bravery, discipline, and unity can overcome even the most overwhelming odds. In the days following the battle, soldiers took time to rest, recover, and reflect. The outpost, once scarred by relentless attacks, slowly returned to routine operations. Troops shared stories, supported one another emotionally, and tended to minor injuries. Reflection on the battle's intensity reinforced camaraderie, resilience, and a profound understanding of what it means to fight and survive under extreme conditions. The Battle of Kamdesh became a defining moment in Afghanistan's war. Stories of heroism, teamwork, and resilience were shared across the military and the world. Lessons learned from the outpost defense shaped training programs, strategy, and leadership for years to come. The courage of the soldiers at COP Keating left a lasting legacy, honoring those who fought and inspiring future generations of service members to persevere in the face of overwhelming odds. Thank you for watching the heroic story of the Battle of Kamdesh. If you were inspired by the courage and resilience of the soldiers, make sure to subscribe to USA Where Stories for more true military stories, survival accounts, and incredible tales of heroism. Hit the like button, turn on notifications, and join our community as we uncover untold stories from the battlefield and history. Your support helps us bring these real stories to life.